I've got another letter in the post. I wonder if it's from the same person. Let's open it up. I still know what you did last summer. Well, what are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for? What is up, everyone? We're back again with another horror revisited episode. This is going to be for the film I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, and this is directed by Danny Cannon, starring Jennifer Love Hewitt, Freddie Prinze Jr., Mekhi Phifer, and Brandy Norwood. Now, I just want to say there may be spoilers ahead, as these are more detailed reviews. So let's get into it. Well, after revisiting the first film and being pleasantly surprised, it's time to delve deep into the sequel. And someone out there still knows Julie's little secret from last summer. Or the summer before, should I say. I like the title of this one. Simple but effective. I Still Know. Just works, doesn't it? And I don't think it was a bad idea to take this location to the Bahamas, away from the fisherman town of Southport, to be honest. It's trying something different. I've got no qualms with that whatsoever. And the ending of the first film is explained straight away here, where Julie is killed off in the shower. It is a dream sequence that we learn straight away. However, this movie is not filled with dream sequences, so that's a big plus. Let's talk about the new characters in this one. I really like them, to be honest. Carla and Tyrell were welcome additions. Carla is a really good friend to Julie in this one. It's her little shoulder to cry on, and she seems like a really supportive person, so I got on board with her, and I really liked her. And Tyrell as well, likeable character, well acted out. Even Will was a more welcome addition than Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character. Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character Ray is in this movie, but he just picks up where he left off as being very unlikable and like this spoiled little boyfriend. So I'm glad he didn't come to the Bahamas with this lot. I had a much more fun time without him in the scene. So it's a nice little quartet that we had here. Jennifer Love Hewitt is the best of the bunch here, though. You know, you feel really attached to her character after what she went through in the first film, and it's nice to see her being a little bit positive again and trying to be a bit more upbeat, even if she does have the odd flashback here and there. And it's quite a shame, really, because Jennifer Love Hewitt is a good actress and we just don't see her in anything anymore, sadly enough. Now, what I really liked about this movie was the kills. I thought the kills in this were way better than the previous film. I thought that was one of the biggest negatives of I Know What You Did Last Summer, but here they really tried to be creative, and I especially like the first kill where it's a bit of a decoy. There's a body in the road and Ray gets out to check this body thinking they've hit him, and his friend's ass is just dragged through the car window by a hook. It's pretty damn brutal and a proper slasher film kill. I also like Tyrell's kill towards the end of the film where he's starting to feel a bit stressed out and he says, "I ain't seen one goddamn psycho killer." Next minute, hook straight through his neck, dragged away. And I love the way the killer drags the characters away here when he's, you know, slicing and dicing. So the kills were really amped up in this one, and that was a big positive. Now, it's not all rosy. They are my positives about the film. And to be honest, if you're a slasher fan, you can sit back, relax, and have a good time with this. I got a kick out of it, but there are some gaping problems with this movie. One of them being the most dumbest character decisions I have ever seen in my life. Honestly, this movie is full of them. Not finishing off the killer when they get the chance, splitting up into groups. Why they do that, I do not know. Why they think that's a good idea. However, the biggest one is unforgivable for me, and this is when Julie's character sees a dead body hanging from her wardrobe. She's already got an inkling that the killer is on the island. She's gone through all this before. She runs to get help. All the characters from the movie come into the room and nothing's there. So, you know, the killer has removed the body, and they say, "Look, you need to get over this. What happened in your life? You're imagining things," stuff like that. And she knows what she saw. She's adamant, and no one believes her. So what does Julie do? She doesn't try and get off the island. She doesn't try and persuade them even more. No, she goes and gets her fucking bikini on, goes into a fucking sunbed room, gets in a fucking sunbed, puts a fucking Walkman on so no one can fucking hear her, and takes a fucking tanning session. Who wrote this fucking script? And you guessed it, the killer locks it in the room and starts trying to kill off everyone else. How could you doubt yourself that much? Now we have the killer here doing unrealistic movements. Like I said, the body is removed from Julie's room within the space of like 2 minutes when she went to get everyone and all the blood and everything. Now we do find out towards the end of the film that Will is the other killer. There are 2 killers in this movie. However, most of these scenes, Will is in there, so it's like the killer is doing all this by himself. He's just teleporting from place to place because Will is also on screen. It just was very unrealistic, and there's no way he could have moved that fast. When I tried to put it all together in my head at the end, it just didn't make sense. Speaking of that reveal at the end, Will's second name is Benson, and the killer is called Ben. So he says, "Look, Julie, Ben's son." Yeah, that sucked really hard. How clever, but not clever was that? At the end of the movie, Will also reveals that this was a big setup. Julie and her friend Carla, at the start of the movie, win this trip to the Bahamas by answering a question from a radio show. And that question is, what is the capital of Brazil? To which they answer Rio. Now, that is not the capital of Brazil. So, Will reveals, didn't you know it wasn't the answer? Now, that is a very big risk to me because you're basically relying on your audience to not know what the capital of Brazil is. And I'm guessing at least half of them did. So, those people are probably going to guess that something isn't right all the way through the film, and it has been a setup from the start. You could have just given the right answer anyway, and this movie would have still worked. Why did there have to be the wrong answer? Now, I know I said the kills in this movie are way better than the first, and that is true. However, there are a lot of off-screen kills here as well. Some of them are like filler and a bit of blood splattered on the wall. They don't create every kill. Some of them felt a little bit lazy at the same time as being creative. And there's a lot of jump scares here too. The hand on the shoulder, the double jump scare where they think it's something and then they turn around and there it is within split seconds. I do have to remember the time this came out because this was the popular thing to do, even though it's always been kind of bad for me. I've never been a fan of this. Just a side note, it's not really a negative, but it was weird to see Jack Black in this movie. He's got like dreadlocks and stuff. Now there's like 5 people on this island and he's going around asking everyone if they want to buy drugs off him. But he can't make much money as a drug dealer because there's like 5 people there. Is he just this weird little drug dealer in this tiny little population? However, he did have the funniest moment of the movie for me where he thinks he sees the killer while he's inhaling some smoke from a joint, and then he just breathes it out and makes this hilarious noise, and I was in absolute stitches. I'm just going to go ahead and rate this movie now. I'm going to give I Still Know What You Did Last Summer a 5 out of 10. Like I said, if you're a slasher fan, you can have a good time with this. It is not as good as the first film though, and it does have some problems. Okay, at the end of these reviews, I always like to leave a little fun fact. Now, the fun fact for I Still Know What You Did Last Summer is that because of the bad press this movie got, Freddie Prinze Jr. has never returned to watch this film. Okay guys, hope you all enjoyed this review. Don't forget to check out my review of the first movie, and I also have I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer coming next. Then I will rank all 3 of them in order from worst to best. My hopes are very high on that one, but we'll wait and see. If you want to comment about this movie or this franchise, leave it down below and I'll reply to every single one of you, I promise. Take it all easy guys. I'll see you all next video.